Greetings. I hope everybody is doing well. So I made a beat in FL Studio and in Pro Tools. I want us to listen together. You tell me which one sounds better, which program would you prefer, or which program do you like to use when making beats in regard to reggae music. Okay, so let's get it. You give me your opinion. Now let's get into this. Before we go further, these are the sounds that I used. I know many become so curious about the sounds which I'm using. So I used usual sound if you are not new to this channel actually. For that being said, welcome to willywheelz channel. If you're new to the channel, this is what we do: reggae and dancehall tutorials, productions. Yeah, let's get it. And yeah, subscribe and let's enjoy together. So I used Mini Grand Ocarina from Expand 2, DBX33, the organ. This is the organ I used, and then I chopped bass. I played live, the chop live, as you can see from this section. These are guitars, these ones, and this is a tambourine. Okay, and my samples for drums, I did not use this one, this sound. And then there is high bleed. I used 26 gentle bars. So basically these are the sounds that I used. Now there are a few things that I want to tell you based on how I was working on these two projects from these two DAWs. The first thing is, it took me around 38 to 39 minutes to make this beat because I wasn't talking, right? It's different when I'm making a tutorial, I'm talking, I was just working. So it took me 38 to 39 minutes because of the playing and editing and everything. But there are certain things which I noticed when I was working which I cannot do in Pro Tools right away. For example, let's come here. Let's say I remove this and I want to copy this one. I can either copy like this, or else I would just click here and just same thing, simple things. While in Pro Tools you just have to copy. You cannot just stick something from here to here and you stick and then the clip is there. It doesn't work like that. These programs like Pro Tools, Cubase, Studio One, Ableton Live have a different algorithm when it comes to such kind of operations. FL Studio is different. So minor things like these are the ones that can make someone maybe love a program to use. Okay. Now I'm not favoring any program because I'm a versatile user. I use a number of programs when it comes to my productions or other people's projects. Whenever I'm working for clients, somebody who wants to work, I use FL, I use Pro Tools, I use Cubase. But when it comes to tutorial, I bring FL Studio most of the time because it's the program which many like to use because it's easy for beginners. So I want to help those ones who want to do that. It doesn't mean that those who use Cubase, I'm forgetting them or maybe whatever. No, I'll get there. Who are still here. Okay, so that is it. came to drum programming, whenever I was programming drum here, what I was doing is, you can just come and fill into like what I did here. So because this is the tempo is 136, I filled 4. Well, however, I came inside here and manipulated the drum so that the higher, that it doesn't sound like chaka chaka. It sounds chaka 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 chaka, that kind of. So basically that is it. While in Pro Tools, I wasn't doing that. However, I'll come back when I get to Pro Tools. So yeah, that is it. Coming to mixing, I created basses, drum bass, keyboard bass, I think 2 basses. The guitars, I did not create any basses because they are different guitars and they should have different sounds. There is bass guitar which should have its own bass. There is cheeky which must have its own sound, and there is staccato which must have its own sound. So I didn't want to effect anything from there. I added effects separately. However, these drums, because they are in the same family, drum kit, so I routed to the drum bus, but I disconnected it from the main fader to avoid these phasing issues. So that's what I did. And I applied the tube sensor compressor. This compressor is by Heritage Audio. They send me this because it's out today on the third as I make this video. Definitely this video is going to be out tomorrow on the 4th. This is my birthday month, so I hope you have something for me, guys. Yeah, respect. Alright, so I chose the drum presets, but I did a number of manipulations just to fit the drum in regards to reggae music. So this is a good compressor. It has a tube saturation threshold like every compressor you may have, but with a number of things that you can play around with and to get the sound which you are looking for. That's what I added. I also added this compressor, Combuster, a free crowd plugin. Once you have purchased your FL Studio, especially the full bundle plugin, you get this one. So I applied it and I increased the saturation up to around 62. You can add it up to more, ratio 4.0. I did not tamper much a lot to it, but that's it. And yeah, each and every channel I was applying EQs, fruity compressor, EQs, wah-wah on this one. This is the staccato, just to come up with the sound which we are hearing. So basically that is it. It is very easy. The mixing, I did it the other day. I wasn't in a hurry to do this or do that. I just had to do the beat the other day, then the other day do the mixing. So basically that is it. So you have heard the sound. So that is what it is. Yeah, so there's nothing much because this is not a mixing tutorial for me to explain much, but it's just a matter of comparing the sounds from different DAWs, how they sound when it comes to production, beat making or mixing and stuff. Okay, so yeah, here we go. Pro Tools session. First of all, it took me almost 48 to 49, close to 50 minutes to finish this beat. So you can check the time that was spent to make this beat and the time that I spent on making FL Studio. It was about 38 to 39. Okay, so here I used, on the drums, I used same samples, no difference, same samples. I used the drum cell. This is the kicks. These are the same kicks which I used in FL Studio. But how to put them into the session like this, it was not like the way you can do in FL Studio where you fill up. I was playing these ones, so there's no problem with that. I don't have a problem with that because it's the nature of the program. That's what the program wants. The only thing is you need just to be a keyboard player in order to achieve this kind of production in programs like this. Everything is done manually in this program. That is what I can say. In other words, there is no way you can just do this and that and then you have the sound which you are looking for. Everything is done manually, meaning you have to put your hands on something in order to come up with the results which you are looking for. So playing guitars, the sounds I use the same. I use the same instruments, hybrid, this is the same 26 bars, expand, the ocarina, the same ocarina, you know what I mean, mini grand, the same. And all these sounds, the keyboard, I created a bass, keys, bass. Drums, I also created the drum bass. You can see the outputs here. The keyboard outputs, you can also see the keys outputs. Everything is routed in this bass. So I applied tube sensor, same settings on the drum bass to come up with the same results. Okay. And also I used T compressor. This one is a different compressor because I did not refresh this compressor in FL Studio. So I used the one which I normally use there because it's still good. And it has got these settings: clean, crispy, warm, and thick. I chose warm. And yeah, that's it. So there are no presets here. So you can just do your own settings. That's the good thing about it. Okay. Yeah, so I created the bass, the aux inputs where there is a delay, more delay, there is also an equalizer, then there is also the same T compressor as a sending aux compression, sending to all these instruments. I did not use so much because of a number of reasons. I wanted to match the sound. You can hear this sound. Yeah, so crispness in some other instruments without touching them so much. Yeah, I was using this on the kick. I added a bit. These are samples tuned properly. I just uplift the low end. So there are two different kicks here. So you can see different sounds. That's why this one I did not do so much. And this is the snare. I wanted to uplift, address the mid-range of the snare. And also this is the hi-hat to cut off. I load off the low end so much so that there is not so much noise. So basically that is it. I also use bridge strip compressor by Heritage Audio, and yeah, same. These are some of the plugins I like to use so much. And the channel strip Pro Tools. So, and moreover, it was not a mixing tutorial. It's just for the sake of demonstration to find a ground of comparison, actually. A number of things that I was doing in FL Studio I cannot do here, but still more I have other means based on the program and what it requires when you're using it. So these are some of the things. I hope you have checked the sound. It's up to you to decide which one you like the most. Now, prices. FL Studio, you know already, FL Studio. So with FL Studio, you can see this is where I come from, you know. This is where I come from. And this FL Studio has got Fruity. It's like the beginner one. And then there is the producer one, which the popular one, many people use this one. And then there is the signature bundle. And then there is the all plugin bundles. It depends where you're coming from. That's it about FL Studio. These are the prices. That is when you are just buying directly on their website. But if you're buying from the shops, they have their own private prices. So yeah, while Pro Tools, about pricing of Pro Tools, it depends. Pro Tools also has got 3, you know, if not 4. Okay, so these are the prices for Pro Tools. You can see there is the one, the artist, Pro Tools Artist. There is this one, Pro Tools Studio, and then there is Pro Tools Ultimate. Of course, it depends, you know, it depends on what you are doing. If you are doing music production only, this one is a very good one. If you have a lot of tracks, you want to get a lot of tracks, this is a good one. And this is their subscription. You can have a year subscription of 79, or depends where you come from. And this one is for big studios. So I don't know if you may need this one as a music producer, because this one goes so much for film production, audio post-production. The reason why I'm doing this is because sometimes we try to fear certain things from very far, but it is not necessary to fear. When it comes to music production, as a producer, you don't need to be rocked in a box. You need to try a number of DAWs, because the most painful thing is to go to some place, they say, hey, we have a job for you, we know you are a producer, but come to work here in our studio. Which programs do you use? I use FL Studio, or I maybe use Logic, or I use Cubase. You find in that studio they don't have Logic, they use Pro Tools strictly, or they use Cubase strictly, or they use different programs, So instead of you getting some job, you fail in that way. So it is necessary to weigh these options, to learn in each and every program. So that is why I brought this kind of video, just to create some kind of inspiration, and in case you want to try something out. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If so, thank you so much. Leave a comment. Let me hear your opinion on this one. Which one sounded better for you? Is it Pro Tools session, or is it FL Studio session? To me, any I use any or anything. So I want to hear from you. Yeah, if you want production services, I'll leave my email in the comment section below. You can contact me and we can work, I also sell samples. Good kicks like these ones. I'll also leave those free sample pack links there. So you should get. I've been sharing for at least 3 weeks. Yeah, thank you so much. Blessings.